Ryan, how's the squad feeling? Everyone confident ahead of Greece tomorrow?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously back at Hampden, so it's exciting in front of the home crowd, and obviously looking to build on the good start we got last month.
Just on that good start, is there a sense amongst the squad here that you're in a really good position now to actually qualify for the tournament?
Yeah, we always had confidence, you know, before a ball was kicked that we could qualify, and I think we're not daft that it's a very tight group. You know, it's a bit of a strange group where, you know, in a way every team can beat each other, and there's no real obvious winner of the group. So in ways it suits us, in other ways it makes the group difficult. But you know, it's early doors. These are the two games when the fixture list came out. You think, you know, you need to go and get points on the board when you play at home. You've
been part of the national team setup for a long time now. Is this the strongest you feel the squad's been?
Certainly up there. I think when you look at the teams that the boys are playing at across Europe and, you know, at club level, it's pretty impressive, and, you know, certainly helps when you come away and you look to the side of the calibre of players you're training and playing with. You know, it gives us confidence as a group to go and get results.
Obviously, from a player's point of view, these camps coming so quickly one after the other, how beneficial is that, especially with the good start you guys had?
Yeah, very. I think it helps for momentum to play a big part in the group. You know, that's why we were so desperate to get off to a good start last month, that we didn't feel we were chasing our tail a little bit. So we managed to do that, and we need to, like I said, keep kind of building on that. Obviously it helps as well. It's probably similar faces. You know, there's not going to be too many changes in the squad in these 3 months. So you know, it's short and sharp, and it's a good setup. You were here the last time Greece came here in March. Can you take anything from that, or has circumstances changed? What have you learned from that match that you can take into this, if any? A bit of both. Obviously, that was a frustrating night for us. You know, we've definitely watched clips from that game in terms of trying to learn from it and where we can, you know, avoid the mistakes we made on the night and, you know, hurt them a little bit more. Probably looking back at the game, we actually started the game all right, to be honest. When you look back, obviously, I think 3-0 probably flatters them. They were pretty cutthroat on the night. You know, another thing we need to remember is, not me, but how well the boys did, you know, out there in the first leg to go and get results. So, you know, it's a team we know, obviously, that we can beat. You know, there's a chance for tomorrow night to put things right that what happened in March. I know it was only March, but do you feel the squad is in a much better place from then? Just like you said, that momentum, the confidence that you've got from the previous 2 games last month, are you in a better place from when you were in March? Yeah, I would say so. I think naturally when you start a new kind of qualifying campaign, there's just a feeling of freshness about it, and everything from before that is kind of parked, and you go into it with a new mindset. So like I said, we managed to kind of have that feeling last camp, and we're trying to carry it into this one.
Do you feel you maybe owe them one after what happened earlier this year?
You certainly don't like getting beat in front of your home fans, so we'd like to put that right, especially what the scoreline finished. Like I said, it was a frustrating night, but we're definitely in a new place now, and I would say there's probably a lot more on the line going into this one. And yeah, we're looking forward. It's been a while since we've played at Hampden in one of these qualifying campaigns, so looking forward to it.
You've been involved in some big nights at Hampden. How good would it be to make these two big nights to remember coming up?
Yeah, it's the games you kind of want to be part of. When I think back to the results we've had here, and, you know, the obviously ones, the Spain one, and you know, we've beat Denmark here, which is a great night. You know, you look back, it's probably the fondest memories I've got in my career. So you want to keep making more of those memories and keep building on it, especially when you know what the prize is at the end of it.
Ryan, I assume given your age, I assume your childhood memories don't extend to France in '98. Have you got no working knowledge of that at all?
Sadly not, no. I was 3 years old, I think, so no.
So what does the World Cup mean to you and guys of your age in this squad who have no practical experience of seeing Scotland there?
I probably don't just speak for myself, speak for everyone. I think everybody's just absolutely desperate to be part of a team that gets to put Scotland to a World Cup. You know, like you said, I think the majority of us are too young to remember the last one. It's been such a gap we knew that feeling obviously before we qualified for the first Euros, and how big it was to try and you know, kind of tick that box, and now it's been obviously a long journey we've been on as a group with this manager. When you feel like that's the only kind of piece of the puzzle left is to qualify for a World Cup.
Right, maybe left. Sorry.
No, I'll do that hopefully when we qualify. I think, you know, with where it's getting held and the natural buzz in the football world around a World Cup, you know, in general, it's something you're desperate to be a part of. I remember watching the last one. Obviously, we came close in the playoffs, but you know, when it comes round, you're watching it on the TV and not playing in it. That's when it really hurts. So I don't think we want to be doing that watching this one.
After the last game here in March, Ryan, I think everyone was talking about the impact that young Christie had for Greece. Obviously, we didn't have Ben back then. Obviously, he was out. Having gotten to know him a bit better and playing with him down in Bournemouth, do you think he's the type of player who can give Scotland that kind of X factor as well?
Definitely, he's an attacking player and he's a threat, and it's the kind of player we need. To be honest, I think every time he's played for Scotland, especially at Hampden, just with his directness and pace on the ball, you know, he naturally lifts a crowd. He can change the kind of feeling of a game instantly. So, you know, it's brilliant to have players like that in your squad. You know, at club level, like you said, I've got to know him a bit more, and you know, training day in, day out, and playing. I know how hard he works and how much he wants to do well, and I know how much playing for Scotland means to him. So, you know, he's young, but he's definitely ready to make an impact for us.
From your experience of Iraola at Bournemouth, right, do you feel as if you can take Ben's game on another level?
Yeah, I think it's a great move for him, you know, joining us. I think he said it himself, but you know, he had some good loan spells from Liverpool, but at Liverpool it's hard to come out of that shadow of just being the kind of younger kid that is always just going to try and be drip fed. I think he's desperate to step in and try and play regular football as much as he can. Obviously with us at club level starting so well, it's going to be hard for him to break in, but even at the weekend, him coming on, getting an assist, it'll do him the world of good, and yeah, hopefully he can push on. A lot. I probably, you know, I owe him a lot. You know, surprisingly, it took me till 28 to find my position on the football part, which has got to be the first ever. But yeah, he's been brilliant for me. Obviously, the position change, I think, suited me, you know, down to a T. You know where you stand with him and how kind of hands-on he is on the football pitch. It's really easy to understand what's expected of you and how front foot he wants you to be, which I think suits us down to the ground. And probably the one thing he's taught me is just you know, how kind of being relentless is a big thing in football, and not taking what you've had or what you've done for granted to keep pushing on. And you know, as soon as one game's over, it doesn't matter who you've beat, he's on to the next one, clean slate. So yeah. I would say probably a bit both. I would say similar in terms of the message. His coaching points and his coaching methods are brilliant in terms of letting you understand what's expected of you. I think that's been something that this manager's got down to a T with everyone. You see, even when new players kind of come in and feed into the group, the younger boys, you know, they slot in so seamlessly, which is a big credit to him. And yeah, just the way I think both of them as managers aren't really frightened to try and take games to big teams. Obviously at Bournemouth we've done that very well last season, and you know, Scotland too. You know, you need to, if you're going to qualify for the likes of World Cups, you know, you need to go and beat big teams. So hopefully we can do that.
Both you and Ben came on and changed the game on Friday night, I think, Ryan. And do you feel, we talked about Ben, but do you feel in your pomp just now at your age, and do you feel that you're in your sort of best form of your career?
Yeah, I feel good. I certainly don't feel 30. But yeah, it's been brilliant at Bournemouth the last kind of few years. Obviously, a lot of probably people say we're overachieving, but I think the big thing with the club is we're trying not to set ourselves a ceiling, to be honest, at this point. I think everything off the pitch at the football club is trending in an upward direction. We're trying to follow that on the pitch, and as long as that keeps happening, you know, who knows how kind of far we can take the club. You know, personally, I feel great. You know, you come away with Scotland, and you know, I've been very lucky to be involved in this kind of setup for a long time now. But sometimes you need to have the kind of reality check that the chances to qualify for a World Cup, you know, are probably few and far between the older you get. So makes you kind of even more desperate to try and grab it with both hands. Yeah, I think we've got that throughout the whole kind of club right now, in terms of right from the top to the bottom. Ever since the new owner took over, he's been brilliant in terms of implementing everything that he said he was going to do, and all of that has been direct links to the football pitch, whether that's, you know, the men's first team, women's, the youth, and at all levels, it's bred success. So you know, it's been brilliant to be a part of. I don't think we're done yet. We're desperate to kind of keep pushing. We had an amazing season last year, but you know, the start we've had this year, we know that we can keep surprising people around the country. And yeah, it's a good club to be involved with.
You're obviously really strong central midfield for Scotland, but you ever become slightly frustrated that you don't get a chance to play where you're playing for Bournemouth or Arsenal?
No, probably not. I wouldn't say I'm frustrated at all. I think I'm at a part now where I'm happy, especially with how much respect I have to this manager, that I'm happy to play wherever he needs me to play. Playing for Scotland is something I've absolutely loved throughout my career, so as long as I can do that and play for them, I don't really matter where it is on the pitch for me.
Is it a discussion you've ever had with him, Ryan?
No, not really, to be honest. I'll be honest, I'm not really one to to go and kick up a fuss. I don't think, you know, if it was really annoying me, I probably would, but it isn't. So you know, it's nothing I think I would ever kind of bring up with him or ask him to change. And you know, it's not like it feels too different. Like I said, his coaching points and stuff to me are, especially when I've worked with him for so long, I know what he's wanting when I play out wide left or right. So doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, obviously. Thursday camp early in the week, a lot of the boys played Sunday, so one or two little knocks and niggles over the first couple of days, but everybody's fitting well, trained today.
Max Johnson is a bit of a later call-up. What's the thinking behind bringing him in?
Just pad out the squad a little bit, just to have obviously 2 games, Thursday and then Sunday. You always assume that you might pick up some kind of knock or niggle, so just brought him in for that reason. That's it.
Pleased with what he showed in the last couple of camps, that he's ready to come in and contribute if
needed?
needed?
Yeah, good, ready to go. He was unlucky not to be in the initial squad anyway. I had a good chat with him on the phone, explained my reasons. He accepted them, which obviously was disappointed, but could understand why I'd made the changes with Aaron Hickey and Tony Ralston both being fit. So he's back in the squad, and it's good for Max, more experience. 2
big games coming up at Hampden in the space of a few days. Do you get a sense of excitement in the squad about these ones and what could be possible in these matches?
Not so sure excitement, more focus, determination. The players understand that every game in a qualification process is really important, that you get as many points as you can. Obviously, we managed to pick up 4 points for 2 away games last month, and we'd like to pick up as many as we can this month, and that would put us in a good place going into November. So the players understand what they have to do.
What do you think the group have learned since the last time they played against Greece?
Play better. They have to play better. The last game, we gave away goals that are not really part of our make-up. We don't normally defend and give goals away like we did in the last game. There were some moments in the first 30 minutes where I think we showed that we can be a threat to Greece. We'd obviously been in Greece and won the game. I spoke about it at the time, maybe I should have made 2 or 3 more changes just to freshen the squad up a little bit. They made 6 changes. They looked a little bit fresher on the night than we did. That's not the case this time. We've got pretty much about as strong a squad as we can have. And the lads will be ready for it, so hopefully a different game and a different outcome.
Just a personal one for you, Steve. Tomorrow you'll draw level with Craig Brown as Scotland's longest serving manager in terms of number of games played should surpass that against Belarus. How would you kind of reflect on your time as Scotland head coach so far?
Enjoyed it. Obviously, when you take the job, you don't think you're going to be in 6.5 years or whatever, 6 and a bit years, with as many games under your belt. But listen, I've been lucky enough to work with a really good, consistent squad of players who have done ever so well for me. All my coaches have helped me to get to this stage. Is really nice, but at the moment my focus is only on qualifying for the World Cup next year.
There must be a pride aspect to that as well, though, Steve, when you think of where your name is going to sit amongst the greats of Scottish football.
I haven't really thought about it, I've got to be honest. I think that's milestones and career marks and whatever. You obviously had a half-decent career as a player. I've had a half-decent career up till now as a manager or head coach. I don't think I'm finished yet, so let me finish and then look back on it and I'll tell you exactly how I feel about it.
Craig was obviously the last man to take us to a World Cup. Was he a support to you when you were starting out here as Scotland manager?
Yeah, Craig's been great, or Craig was great. Obviously, unfortunately, we lost him reasonably recently. Craig was always very supportive, always good words of advice, and much appreciated by me.
What do you think Craig would say to you at this point, Steve? Would he point out that you hadn't qualified for a World Cup yet, like he had?
He'd probably point that out, of course he would. Of course he would. And he'd also probably point out the fact that he should have dug his heels in and stayed a little bit longer. And then maybe he would have been the guy that had gone to 3 tournaments and set a different benchmark. So, Craig was a good man, and he was part of the squad when I went away as an under-19 player down to Mexico. Craig was part of that group. And so we've known each other a long time, and I did forgive him for not picking me enough when he was national team manager.
You just mentioned the determination and of the focus of the squad. Obviously, we were speaking to Kenny at the beginning of the week, speaking to Ryan just before you. You feel that this is the chance for the players. You know, some of them are coming towards the end of their career. That determination of the squad, is that the sort of palpable feeling that gives you the confidence that this could be the time for the players to end that weight?
Obviously, they know that they've managed to qualify for 2 tournaments. They've been at 2 tournaments. They understand how close they got the last time in the World Cup campaign. It was a really good qualifying campaign. The playoff game didn't go our way. And they feel that they should have already had that World Cup experience, but they haven't. So this is the next chance. They're all at a good age. I know you say they're old, but they're not as old as me. They don't feel that old. They know they've got a chance to be there, and some of them will go on and have chances in the future. But if you look, it's 1998 since we were last there, so every chance we have to look at is our last chance. So why not do it this time? Yeah, I think it's very important. I think they've shown as a group of players that they know how to get it done. So the World Cup qualifying campaign, like I said, last time was really good. We finished second to a good Danish team. And then the qualifier for the Euro 2024, we finished second in the group behind Spain, who went on to win it. So we've shown that we can negotiate the qualifying campaign. This is another tough one. A little bit different because you've only got 3 opponents in the group, but they know what they have to do. They know where they need to pick up the points, and hopefully we get to the end of the campaign in November and we're already there.
Steve, some people are calling it a must-win game, and others are saying that a draw wouldn't be the end of the world. I mean, how do you assess this game and the group as a whole, because it's pretty tight looking?
Just try and pick up as many points as we can. Obviously 3 would be better than 1. Would it be a disaster 1? Probably not, but we want to win. We want to win both games. We've given ourselves a great platform with the 2 away games, and we want to cement that by winning the 2 home games.
You mentioned that last. Can it almost be a good thing the team lost the way they did in that game? It feels like the 2 of them got pointed to it.
Is it a good thing? It's not good. Never a good thing to get beat 3-0 at home. It's never a good thing. But maybe going in. Maybe it's just focused everybody's mind a little bit more. We'd gone to Greece. We'd won out there. Maybe like I said, I didn't make enough changes, so I take that on the chin. Maybe the players didn't quite hit the heights that they had before. So yeah, if it's a chance to make amends, then hopefully that's what we do.
Steve, you've had the players in for a while now this week. Have you made your decision, obviously, on who's going to start and goal?
Yep.
Would you like to share with the audience? Would you like to share with the audience?
Probably not.
I mean, obviously when you name the squad, the fact that Craig came in and he hasn't had football, that kind of looks like you've brought him in because you trust in him as a safe pair of hands if he ultimately is the guy that gets the nod.
No, Craig's been great for me. I obviously picked up the injury at the end of last year when he was undisputed #1 at that time. He's had the injury problems over the summer. He's just coming back to full fitness now. I just feel his experience around the group is good, and obviously he's not playing at his club, but he's in here, he's working. I spoke to him this morning about it. He said it's great to be back involved with working with players at this level, and he's ready to go if required.
In terms of this particular fixture against Greece, because of their result against Denmark last time out, do you think there's a possibility here to almost knock them out of contention with a win?
No, because after this game, there's still 9 points up for grabs. So I think if anybody, there's nobody in this room that would have thought that Denmark would go to Greece and win 3-0. So it's a section that I think that's shown that there can be some strange results. The teams are quite equally matched. So I wouldn't be surprised if Greece could go to Copenhagen and win. That's the reality of where we are. So even if we beat them, I don't think they're dead because there's still 9 points to play for.
But if we take 6 from these two,
Yeah,
we're in a very strong position.
You start getting into ifs and buts and maybes. It's better for us just to concentrate on the first game and make sure that our performance is better than it was in March, and make sure that our performance is good enough to take the 3 points. Is she? I didn't know she was there. I've heard the name. I'm sure if you played a couple of your songs, I'd say, oh, I recognise that one, but I couldn't name you one song. I'm sorry. And that's no disrespect to Katie, but I'm for a different generation.
Do you recognise her as well?
No.
Steve, before the Belarus game, you were quite clear that you
I thought that was us finished there. No, she wouldn't.
Before the Belarus game, you talked about the need for the team to get back to be horrible to play against, I think was the expression used. How much of that did you see across those first 2 games? How much will you need that again tomorrow night to get the result?
We have to do what we're good at. And I think when we defend the way we defended in Denmark, the attitude we showed when we were in Belarus, we had to force the game and chase the game without being crazy that we concede a counter-attack goal. We have to work as hard as we can. We have to be very humble, get out there on the pitch, be organised, work as hard as we can, show our qualities on the pitch, and hopefully that's enough to set us on the way to where we want to be.
Can the fans be important tomorrow, Steve? Obviously,
fans are always important. But we know that when you come here, we have to give them something to shout about. We know that, so we look to start the game on the front foot, and if we can get the fans on side. And sometimes in a game when it's going against you a little bit is when you need your fans the most. So I'm sure the Scottish public, when they come, will realise it's a very important game for both ourselves and Greece, and they can make that little bit of difference with the noise that they can create, especially in the difficult moments.
I was going to say that the Greeks are quite a young team, quite a young squad. I mean, at that level, can an intimidating atmosphere have any bearing on them?
No, I think they're pretty much most players now that are playing at this level will be used to hostile atmospheres, especially the lads that are coming out of Greek football, because there's some tasty games over there.
Steve, this campaign's so different from previous World Cup qualifying campaigns because it's truncated the way it has been. Do you feel with so much going on domestically that the fans are really getting the importance of this yet? Because it's coming down to the crunch now, and maybe it's kind of crept up on some people that's how close we are now to this.
I don't know what's happening domestically. I don't know. I would point out the fact that I do glance through the headlines sometimes, and it's been strange in a build-up to such a big game that the national team's not been the main headline. But listen, that's the nature of football in Scotland.
Do you like the new format? Do you like this format?
Can I tell you at the end? What it really takes out, obviously it takes out the game against the pot 5 team or maybe a pot 6 team in days gone by, which makes it longer. And if you're Scottish, you probably think it takes away 2 banana skins.
Steve, there's obviously chat about people who get left out of the squad all the time, but very rarely over probably the course of your tenure do we talk about the attacking areas being so strong and guys like Lauren Shanklin not making it. Do you think this is maybe the strongest kind of complement of attackers that you've had at any point?
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. Most consistent. I think obviously Shea and Lyndon have been the sort of frontline strikers for me since, when did they both come in? About 5 years ago. They've sort of been the two that have been up there, and they've always been supplemented by other players round about that. Is it strong? Yeah, it's pretty strong if somebody like Lawrence can't get in the squad.